Well, what can we say? For a friendly match, it was quite interesting, right? A nice friendly match on a Friday. Yeah, I thought maybe for a friendly match, I don't know, Lazio shouldn't be so focused, Alistair McKenzie, right? I think maybe save some energy for the next match, right?
I was wondering what your intro was going to be this time, and to be honest, that's one of your best. I think
Thank you.
You've gone in hard. I like that.
I was thinking,
yeah,
I don't
Friday
remember,
night training session, as you say.
yeah. I don't remember a derby so dominated in the last couple of years like this one, because let's be honest, the first shot on target for Roma came in at the 85 minutes, right?
It's unbelievable what we've just seen, really, isn't it? Like the level of performance from Lazio is one thing. The disappointing feeling from their team's performance is another thing. I mean, it was. I would say, full time, but I would say already that's definitely probably our best performance of the season. Win of the season in the derby, up against it, and it's the biggest winning margin, 3-0. We've not won by that margin this season. It's massive. I think that we had reasons to be into this game, but we never expected this, did we, Vittorio? Did you really think that we could end up winning this game? Not just 3-0, but easily 3-0. Roma, you say, they didn't even threaten in this game.
No, definitely. With the derby, I'm always scared, so I could never think about something like that. It's great to play like that. I was thinking, coming out, Alistair, watching Borja Mayoral, is he thinking, oh man, I choose the wrong team? I saw him. He was talking with Luis Alberto coming out, and it looks like, sorry, I made the wrong call. Can I switch?
Yeah, the transfer market's open, Borja. If you want to, if you want to review your life choices. Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know. I've just seen. The comments are starting to be on the right here, and the first one I just saw was "Get that," and I was trying to do dry January here, and that's gone. I've got a huge beer that's gone completely wrong after tonight. There's no way I'm not celebrating this. It was too much, and I'm still trying to kind of like rationally and analytically think about this game. Still quite raw.
Alistair, you shouldn't react like that. It's a friendly match, right? That's what Rizzitelli said. No? I'm remembering correctly, right? It's a friendly match. Roma usually win easily against small team, blah, blah, blah. Right? What did Capello say last time? That Roma is a better team, better players, blah, blah, blah.
What do you think is... I mean, what's the most satisfying? I feel like you're going to have a good answer to this question, so I'll ask you. What do you think? I like this. Vittorio's hair is as rampant as the
have to cut it.
I like that. But what for you is the most satisfying part of a win like this? Is it the performance of the team and what it means for the season? All the stuff we already talked. The fact that we move up the table and you cut the difference to Roma, blah blah blah. Or is it kind of silencing all that chat that happens in Derby week, which we're so exposed to? I guess you hear so much of it all week leading up to a match. I mean, I imagine that you're feeling vindicated right now about that, are you?
Well, the good thing, I think, about this derby is that this year we heard so many, Ibanez is such a good defender. He's great. Villar is such a great midfielder. It's amazing. Mkhitaryan, what a play. Not Luis Alberto. Mkhitaryan is really good. Dzeko, what a striker. They didn't do nothing Ibanez had, and on the other side, we said Lazzari is not good enough. Lazzari humiliated Ibanez for 95 minutes, right? Mkhitaryan didn't do nothing. Villar, only a yellow card, I think. That's what we noticed. So, it's nice sometimes to make them feel right that unfortunately most of the time their player are pumped up for no reason.
When a show goes to show what we've said all along, which is that there isn't really an awful lot of teams this season, really, and I guess we kind of hit a good run of form. Well, I'm actually a bit hesitant to say that because I don't think Lazio were actually on really a good. I heard a lot of people saying that before this match. Lazio were on a good run of form going into this. I don't actually think Lazio were on a good run of form because they weren't actually playing well. Yes, they'd won 2 in a row, 3 unbeaten, but draw was thought of as being complete disaster. We're not counting that as being good form. That even the win over Fiorentina, we didn't really look back as being a good performance. It was only the Parma win where we actually started to think positively about things, and that was against a team that was a complete disaster, really. So I don't think Lazio did come into this being big favourites in any way. And like you're saying already, so many people pumping up chances of this Roma team, and it just goes to show once again this season there is not that much between the top 7 or 8 sides in the league, and results like this are going to happen. But I mean, having said that, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see a clean sheet coming. 2 clean sheets in a row.
It's going to snow in Rome next week.
Manuel Lazzari assists. Two Lazzari. I mean, we have to talk about Lazzari. Let's just get this done now. What a performance! I mean, this is he's in the last 4 games. He's suddenly becoming the player we always wanted him to be. No.
Lazzari is world class, says Stefan Popescu. He's right. He's right. I'm not changing your mind. Absolutely. And you said 2 assists. I think it's 3 now, right? Because the Luis Alberto one, it's another assist today. All goals from Lazio starts from Lazzari. The first one, he sealed the ball from Ibanez. The second one, assist to Luis Alberto. The third one, he decided, well, I'm going all alone. I kick the ball and chase it, and that's it. Ball to Akpa Pro, and then Luis Alberto for the third goal. So no match. Lazzari is really. And the funny thing is that, and let's be honest, it's like that. Lazio fans are always very tough on our players, right? We complain even Ciro Immobile when they score. And on the other side, every Roma player, it's Messi. So it's funny sometimes to notice that, well, probably they're not really Messi and our player not really rubbish. So,
have you seen Felipe Caicedo's tweet?
No.
He's just tweeted 2 minutes ago, "Meno male che era un amichevole, ragazzi." Just as well that it was a friendly, guys.
That's for some of you that maybe don't know. I think we talked already in the last podcast. Rizzitelli, after the draw against Inter, said, "I'm not worried about Friday because Friday is a friendly match, and Roma is playing against a small team, and we always win against small teams, so I'm not concerned. It's a friendly match."
Unbelievable chat from Caicedo. What a guy. I mean, he was already a popular fellow, but why? That kind of thing is going to make him even more so. I love that. But sorry, back to Lazzari for a second. I mean, when I said 4, so he's at 4 for the season now from getting 2 tonight, which is the same amount he managed all of last season in terms of assists. And yes, I know that obviously, like, the output of a player like him can't be judged just entirely on assists because, you know, there's a lot of work you do beyond the final ball, but that is one thing we want to definitely see more from him. Here we go, Kilkito, the next one we see at Lazzari's final ball has been terrible, everything else superb, but he's starting to deliver. I think it's absolutely right. I mean, that's what we've been wanting from him, isn't it? Because he's been doing so much right while he's been at Lazio in terms of the energy, getting up and down the flank, contributing in both phases of play, attacking and defensive. But all too often has been lacking in terms of his final pass and keeping the composure, whatever it is. And today, yes, it's very easy to laugh at and blame Roger Ibanez, especially for the first goal. But look, that first goal would not have happened if Lazzari wasn't all over the back of him, putting pressure on him in the first place. And it takes an energetic right wing back like Lazzari to be able to be putting that pressure on in the first place. So you can't completely write off Lazzari's input in terms of producing an assist for that goal either. I think it was. It's strange to be talking about him, in a game where Alberto has scored 2 of the 3 goals. We're still talking about Lazzari first, but I feel like he's the guy who deserves the most credit.
Man of the match for me.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah.
And I said it. All 3 goals come from Lazzari. And how long did we hear in the past couple of weeks? Zappacosta, he's so good. This year, Zappacosta, it's Zappacosta. It's so. Did you notice Zappacosta today, guys? Please write me if someone saw Zappacosta on the field, because Zappacosta is so good this year. Nothing.
Mario, I hate to break this to you, but Zappacosta Torino now.
Zappacosta, how it's called?
Karsdorp.
No, come on.
Spinazzola.
Sorry. Yeah. And I'm not drunk, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just... Even Kordrup, guys, he was playing so well in the last couple of days. So, and Veretout. What a player, Veretout. So, I think we have to be honest. The quality of Lazio made the big difference. I think this year there's a lack of quality. A big gap between Lazio, especially in the midfield, between Lazio and Roma, that was pretty evident today. So, I don't know.
What? Sorry, but between the quality of the Lazio midfield, you mean, or the Roma midfield?
Yeah, there's a big difference between Lazio midfield and Roma midfield this year. You can see it. You can see it today. Roma moved the ball without creating anything. Lazio was, every time they had a chance, was dangerous.
Well, I mean, I thought that was that. I mean, a lot of people made the point before this match that was always going to be a crucial part of this game, was that whoever wins that midfield battle is going to stand the best chance of winning the match. And look, well, that applies to most matches, let's be honest. But with this one, I think the thing that surprised me the most was that, having seen a lot of Roma games this season as well, an absolutely defining characteristic of their season so far has been the fact that they start games very well. They start games really strong. We saw that again last weekend, as we talked about in our previous show, against Inter. They went in 1-0 up at half-time, and they do this time and again. They kind of blow teams away in the first half. So for Lazio to go in half-time, 2-0 up, completely kind of frazzled my mind. I did not see that one coming at all, because it was so out of... it was really out of tune with I guess, what you'd expect to happen in this match. Then in the second half, though, although Roma are kind of renowned for having poor second halves this season, I still thought it was a spectacularly bad second half from them, considering the impact that they needed, the reaction that they needed. Lazio managed this game brilliantly. All the Simone Inzaghi critics out there, I'm sure there are some listening to this podcast. I know I've seen Rami is already commenting. I know he's one, but there are others as well. And look, Inzaghi, you have to give him credit for this. He managed this game brilliantly. He set up a game plan that exposed Roma's weaknesses and that made the most out of Lazio's talent, and actually completely showed up Fonseca tonight, I think.
Yeah, I think we talked about Inzaghi a lot in the past, saying what he did wrong. I think And the biggest difference, Alistair, let's not forget it. For the first time this year, Lazio had 5 days to prepare a match. And this, I think, had a huge impact. Inzaghi prepared the match very well, while on the other side, Fonseca was terrible. Roma didn't do nothing, didn't prepare. We said it also in the last podcast, right? Everybody knows how Lazio play. 3-5-2, Luis Alberto, Milinkovic, Savic, Leiva on the wingers, Marusic and Lazzari. I mean, we could guess the starting 11 on Monday. So it's not a big surprise. And still, Fonseca didn't prepare nothing. Well, Inzaghi did, because Mkhitaryan was invisible. And Lazio went all the time deep, because we know that Roma defense is quite slow. And that's the thing, right?
His hands, and look, time and time again, they said get the ball to Sergei, get him to hit those passes in behind the defender for Lazzari to chase, and that Lazzari is quick as hell, as we know. And if he is chasing a ball that Sergei is pinged, we know that the pass is going to be accurate enough and in the right for him to chase, and we know that Lazzari's got speed to get there. So it's clearly something they worked on. This is not a coincidence. Lazzari being brilliant, it's something they will have worked out in advance. Ibanez does not have a ton of pace, and if we can actually get the ball in behind him, on his heels and a foot Lazzari, that is a race that Lazzari's going to win. And yeah, we saw that. I don't think we've seen anything as spectacularly well as that. Highlights coming up behind me here again, and they're showing it over and over again. And yeah, it just worked a treat. Have to, though, tip the hat as well to Luis Alberto, because yes, we've criticised the fact that he's not providing as many goals as he used to. He's not setting them up in the way that he used to. At least, well, when I say that, he's not getting the assists that he used to, at least. But he's got 5 goals in 6 games now, Vittorio. And the 2 tonight were brilliant. Absolutely perfect finishes. I mean, he's really finding form as well, Alberto, at the right time.
Yeah. And yes, he didn't make assists, but if he scores like that, I'm fine with that. One thing, because Kikito, we're coming back to you, because this is something I thought about it. I don't know, Alistair. Too bad Lulic didn't get in a couple of minutes in the end. At the 71st minute, I turned to my son and said, well, now he could bring on Lulic. That would be funny.
The funny thing was that it was actually in the end where he could have done something like that.
Definitely.
It was because my girlfriend came back in earlier. It's like this is crazy. Like Inzaghi is so conservative. I cannot believe he's taking off Immobile. He didn't even hero against Parma. Like he just doesn't bring off Ciro. Yet we're in such a comfortable position in this game that he's well over with 10 minutes left, and that never happens. I mean, if you ever won, like historically, a record of how comfortable a win this was for Lazio, that's all you need to know, is that Simone Inzaghi substituted Ciro Immobile with 10 minutes left. That's just, it's crazy for that to happen in a derby match.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe Armini could come in this time. I think a result like that could be the right
some game time.
Yeah, in a derby, But again, Alistair, one thing is, I said it before, the talent. On the other side, we have to say that Roma haven't won a match against a big team this season. I think they got just 1 point against Juventus and Inter, right? I was a little bit scared in the first half, because, as you were saying, in the first half, Roma usually played well. But I think the most dangerous chance we created, right? I think Acerbi deflected the ball, and Reina blocked it on the goal line. That was it. After that, it was only Lazio.
Yeah, I mean, it's real major chances for Roma tonight, isn't it? I mean, did Reina make many saves? I mean, Pau Lopez made a couple of really good saves in the second half. I mean, that was the thing. I thought that although Lazio scored 2 of the 3 goals in the first half, I thought by far Lazio's best period in the game was the second half.
Yeah.
And I just still find that really quite difficult to digest. It's amazing. Here's a comment, David Lono. Was it 9 shots, 9 on target for Lazio? I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up. Actually.
Yeah.
It sounds about right though, because the three on target, but then on top of that, Pau Lopez made several saves. So
yeah, 9
really
on target.
It's really promising.
9 on target against 1 of Roma. Roma had in total 3 shots, 2 off and 1 on target. And I think the 1 on target is the Dzeko one at the 85 minutes. So, Alistair, don't get drunk during the show, please. So Fonseca is the Serie A's Lampard. All talk when they beat average sides, but gets out coached by better sides. I think it's true. I think today we can say Inzaghi won it. At the same time, we can say that Fonseca lost it because Roma was terrible, was really terrible. I'm just watching again the highlights. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's this is the thing that Fonseca's been criticised for the most, is that when it comes down to the big games, as we talked about already leading up to this game, they've really not managed to get results, and it's a weird thing, but it is the thing that Lazio struggled with previously, until last season. Really, last season we really managed to turn that around and start performing in the big games, but that's something with Lazio we have to say are doing brilliantly this year, and now we've got this weird beaten this season. What we've beaten now: Roma, Napoli, Borussia Dortmund, Zenit, but we've lost to Udinese, Sampdoria, Verona. It's easy to spot what the issues are with this Lazio team, but I think we have something a bit more promising to work on now, because we've, oh, for God's sake, because we've put together a run of results where we're doing both, and I think we are starting to see more signs of the old team from last year now. I hope.
I think Stefan is asking, is this the turning point of the season? It could be. It should be. I mean, it's not only winning the derby, is for the first time this season, guys, Lazio won 3 straight matches in a row. And, we said it in this podcast while Alistair keep drinking, that Lazio needed a streak
water.
Yeah. I'll check later what is it there. I'm not sure it's water. A streak, a winning streak that gives you confidence. Take Lazzari today. Lazzari was so confident in the second half because of what he did in the first half, of what he did in the last 2 matches. I mean, back heel from Lazzari, I never saw it in 2 years of Lazio. Today he did it twice, So the team is building confidence, and you could see it today because in the second half, as you said, Lazio created more chance, and it was in the second half. Theoretically, Lazio should have controlled the match, right? Take care of the ball, etc. Instead, Lazio was so much better than created more chances than in the first half.
I guess the question now is how, because it takes 2 different approaches to win games like this, and then to win games against your Veronas and your Sampdorias that we're going to come up against. And that was obviously something that Lazio did so brilliantly last season, was being able to find ways of find answers and ways of winning those games. I think Inzaghi is going to have to maybe be a bit more inventive in those matches than he is in these big ones. I think he has a very good blueprint for winning these big games because I think this approach, this style of football works very well in these big games. Lazio have a very effective way of soaking up pressure and launching counterattacks and exploiting weaknesses with teams who are willing to come at them. I don't think they're so good at breaking down teams who are willing to play with 10 men behind the ball in their one half. That's something that Lazio seem to struggle against a bit this season. So I think that's the real challenge, is that in order to really put together a run of form, really put together the results that you need to push for those Champions League places, you need to find those two different ways of playing. Roma fell into Lazio's trap. There's no other way of putting it. Tonight, they completely walked into Lazio's trap. I don't know how they didn't see it coming, I have to be honest, because if you watch Lazio like we do, there was nothing.
Oh.
But you know what I mean. There was nothing new tonight, was there, Vittorio? It wasn't like Lazio did anything differently tonight than what they usually do.
They do it better. They do it better.
They did it better, but they didn't do it differently. So I feel like Fonseca and Roma were just pretty naive, really, in the way they approached the game. I have to feel that way.
I would say. Typical from Roma, being arrogant, like Rizzitelli, like Fabio Capello. I told you on last podcast, right? I don't understand why Fabio Capello says that Roma is a better team. They're not a better team. They have less options this year than Lazio, definitely. And Fonseca have been arrogant. You have to play counter-attack against Lazio. You have to defend, and when you have the chance, you try to take it. If you play like that against Lazio, especially with a slow defense like Roma, because Ibanez made a lot of mistakes, but Smalling was struggling for 95 minutes. Let's not forget. So Mancini made, I don't know how many faults Mancini made. So Real Madrid, Bayern Munich can play like this against Lazio. Roma cannot. It's simple as that. The problem is Lazio has to play like this even against Benevento, against Udinese. I think this is lack of winning mentality. I mean, Luis Alberto is very focused in Champions League or against big team. It's not the same when Lazio plays against Udinese or Sampdoria. I think this is the truth this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Well, that's it. And that's what makes you qualify for the Champions League or not. That's what makes you have a good league season or not. And it's another question, the Bayern point you make, well, we'll see about that because we're going to find out soon enough how well they play against Lazio. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that Lazio have done quite well in the Champions League this year and they've not done so well in Serie A, because it comes down to the same thing. The teams that Lazio are playing against in the Champions League have a higher opinion of themselves and are more willing to expose themselves and play more attacking football, and Lazio respond better to that. That gets the best out of them. So, yeah, I mean, you see this comment now. Stefan Popescu, thoughts on our chances against Bayern after they got knocked out by a second division side? It's interesting, isn't it, Vittorio? I don't know if you've been paying attention to Bayern at the moment, but it is getting a bit dodgy for them at the moment. They've been conceding a lot of goals. They've been having to make comebacks against quite bad teams, and obviously this cup result that Stefan's talking about. I mean, I guess they're still Bayern Munich. They're still going to bring their best possible game to the Champions League. But it looks like if things continue in this way, we're going to at least be facing them at a good time.
Well, Bayern has a very slow defense. I think if you want to point out a weakness of this team is that. And we have very speedy striker. Today, Correa didn't play, but we have very fast strikers, and that can create that's, I don't want to say our only chance, but our biggest chance to win, and it's that. The other thing, Alistair, talking about coming back to the derby, I thought Caicedo got injured after 15 minutes probably, because in the second half he wasn't playing pretty much, and still Lazio was able to dominate without Caicedo.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I was a bit disappointed not to see more of, not to see Lulic come on, not to see Correa come on. I guess it goes to show they're probably not ready. But especially Lulic, it would have been great, to kind of, for that to be the comeback moment. Has been so long. It's been almost a year, and in 2 weeks it'll be a year since his last game. So it's great to have him back in the team, but it would have been perfect. We should mention as well, Lazio actually signed a player, Vittorio, not right now, but Iglitare before the game did confirm that Kamenovic is going to be coming in the summer. Young Serbian defender, can play centre back, left wing back. Sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, well, they signed it now. They paid him now. He's staying there 6 months. So
yeah, but he's not coming until the summer, no?
Which is a problem, I believe, because I thought that we need it now, right? So I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine that's kind of part of the agreement, the terms they agreed with the club. Because, I mean, I guess they've been saying all along that, if Faris comes back, if Lulic comes back, that's our January mercato. That's a classic January mercato, isn't it? 2 players recover from injury, and that's your signings for the for the month completed. But no, it is good to see that they're not only looking at the future, but also looking at younger players coming in. I have to say, don't know nearly enough about the player to be able to say much about him at this point. We're trying to reach out to people who do know more about him, so hopefully we'll have something more about that soon enough. But I don't know about you, Vitor. I've not been keeping a close eye on the Serbian divisions
Not at
recently.
Not at the moment. But at least we made a signing, and after this derby, if Lulic is back, we saw him warming up today. That's a big news for Lazio.
Yeah, so, it'll be really interesting to see what kind of shape he comes back in. I mean, obviously they've been very upbeat about him, but I mean, it's hard to tell, from that how much that means really. If Inzaghi and all his teammates are saying, "Oh, it's great to have Lulic back, and he's been training well," and blah blah blah, it's quite hard to really tell how that translates into proper first team competitive football, because that's something else. But we'll see.
I think we can wrap it up here, Alistair.
Yeah, why not? Otherwise, we'll go on forever.
Yeah, to celebrate all night long. Guys, as usual, thanks for joining us. Remember, you can subscribe for our podcast on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. And if you want to support the channel, patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. Good night, Alistair. I don't know if I'm going to sleep, but good night, everybody. Forza Lazio.